Vanakkam, Namaskaram. Myself, Professor C. Devangi Shah, is here to welcome you to this crash course, which is in only English language. And I hope you enjoy all the sessions. And at the end of each session, I am sure you will find it very knowledgeable, right? This is my objective that give you that impart you full knowledge of the subject and also guide you on examination tips, important things that can appear in the exam. Friends, what you have to do is the chapters that are taught in crash course, the videos will be chapter wise, right? So after you finish viewing one chapter of Koshi, make sure you do two or three sums more out of the apart from the crash course book, right? Apart from crash course book, you some more sums that gives you practice, and then you can appear for our unit test. Okay, friends. So now let us begin the journey of this crash course. Friends, something more about me first. I am Professor C. Devangi Shah. You know my name. I have been teaching this subject for last 10 years and I have been associated with renowned coaching classes. I have also taken up lectures at ICAI in Mumbai. Hey friends, so now let me start the journey. Today what we are going to do is chapter 1, introduction. Now, as this subject is new to everyone, till your 12th standard, till your foundation papers, you have never studied this subject. So, friends, it is new to you all, and whenever you start any new subject, you should know the background behind it as to why there is the need of this subject, what is there in the subject, right? And why are you going to study? Why does a chartered accountant need to study this subject? Okay, so this is what I'm going to first see, friends. l- uh, Early in earlier days, like before industrial revolution was there, right, people used to charge any amount to the buyer, right? Suppose if you come to take crash course with me, I would charge you 50,000 rupees for a simple crash course. Reason was there was too much of demand, but there was no supply of goods. Okay, there was not much competition. Let's say I am the only one who is taking up the crash course. So the buyers, right, they had to pay this in order to get the product, in order to get the service. But after there was industrial revolution, new technologies have come up, right? And there is too much of competition. So now cost of the product plays an important role for survival of the business. Recently, if you have seen that Shark Tank India, the TV serial that has come up, every people want to know that what is the cost of the product, at what cost you are producing the product, at what price you are selling, what is the margin you are making, because the survival of of your business, of your project, depends upon the cost of the product. And friends, this is how vital the cost of the product is. And every business needs to know its accurate cost. And we chartered accountants can help the business people calculate the accurate cost of the product. And that is the need of the day. Before industrial revolution, people did not calculate cost. They randomly charged 50,000 and all. But now there is tough competition. They have to survive in the business. Like buyers have got too many option, right? So in order to survive in the business, accurate cost becomes an important part. And we chartered accountants can help this business people. So this is the importance of the subject, and that is why a chartered accountant needs. And now you are going to study this subject. So to start with, you should know few fundamentals of the subject. And the few basic terms is what I'm going to discuss in the chapter introduction. Of course, this comes in exam for 5 marks to 10 marks. Now, where it comes in the paper, I will tell you this also. Friends, your paper pattern is like this. Question number 1 comes for 20 marks. It comes for 20 marks and there are 4 questions. There are 4 questions of 5 marks each. And it is compulsory question. There is no internal choice as well. Question 2, question 3, question 4, question 5 and questions. There are more 5 questions. Out of this, friends, you have to attempt any 5. I'm really sorry. You have to attempt any 4. And each question will be of 20 marks. So your compulsory question 20 marks, remaining question total 80 marks. And friends, this is how you have to write your 100 marks paper. Question number 6 is generally theory, while 2 to 5 are practical questions. In question 2 to 5, you will have each question will have either 2 or 3 sub questions. If there are 2 sub questions, then each sub question will be of 10 marks. And if there are 3 sub questions, one question will be of 10 marks and other 2 will be of 5 marks each. So friends, where will your introduction chapter come? This introduction chapter, which is of 5 to 10 marks, friends, it will appear in question number 6. The total paper is of 120 marks. You have to attempt 100 marks. Some students skip theory. And friends, if you skip theory, you will have no option in the paper. You will have no choices in the paper. Then the entire 100 marks becomes compulsory for you. So if you want to have choices, go learn theory. And if you can manage without choices, theory. What I would recommend is, friends, you need to have few options. Need to be little flexible. You don't know what things will come in question number 1 to 5. So friends, please study theory. Okay? And let's begin. Important terms that you should know. And that is there in our book. Friends, I am sure you must have got this colorful book. And if not, it will be delivered soon. And the very first chapter introduction, I told you before industrial, after industrial revolution, you can read this. And now we come to important terms, that is definition. The first term is what is cost. Friends, I'm sure you must have bought something recently. For example, you bought a simple product, a book. You bought a book and that book cost 100 rupees. So friends, you paid 100 rupees, in exchange you got a book. I'm sure now you can travel, right? There is no more curfew, there is no more lockdown. So now you can openly travel. And you paid rupees 100 for travel. You traveled by taxi, by Uber, by auto rickshaw. So by paying 100, you got a service of transportation. So friends, what is this 100? Friends, it is the cost. And it is cost of what? It is cost of some goods. It is cost of service. So cost of goods and service, the monetary value of such goods and service is called cost. Okay friends, it is called cost. What is costing? You have one book with you. Just see it. Just observe it. How it is being made. There must be big papers and on that some ruling printing must be done and they have been folded properly, then binded, and there is a cover, book cover being, stuck to it. Right, friends? So, we need papers, material. You need labor, a person to make the book. And then you need machines to cut it. You need machines to print the book. You need other materials like glue to stick the cover. Right, friends? So other cost, we call it overheads. And friends, let's say 20, 20, 20. Total 60 is the cost of the book. The manufacturer needs some profit. Let's say he earns 40 rupees and he sells you for the 100 rupees. Right? So this is how cost of book is calculated. We need material costs, we need labor, we need overheads. Correct? And this is how the cost of the book is calculated. And the way the cost of the book is calculated, the technique used, the method used to calculate the cost of this book is called costing. Friends, what is costing? It is a technique, it is the process, it is the method used to calculate the cost of the products or services. Friends, our subject is generally called costing. Why it is called costing? Because in this subject, we are going to learn various methods, various techniques, and various processes to calculate the cost of various goods and various services that are there. If you see the index, please open it. If you see the index is full of different methods. Absorption, costing, job and batch, costing, contract, costing, service, costing, right? Then process costing, joint by product costing, marginal costing, standard costing. So these are different methods, different ways, different techniques used to calculate the cost of the product. And hence our subject is generally called costing. Now I'm sure you must have had one question in your mind as to why so many methods? You need these many methods. The reason is every product is different. You can't calculate the cost of every product in same way, same manner. So different product, you need different, and hence you have all this in your syllabus. There are so many businesses done, and a chartered accountant needs to consult all these business people. So a chartered accountant needs to have knowledge of calculation of all the products and services. And hence, this is there in your syllabus. Okay? There was a question once in exam, and it is there in our book as well. If you go to the last page, friends, or rather I'll just show you the question and you will understand. Don't go to the last page. I forgot where it is. I'll tell you where it is. Methods of costing, can you see? This is an exam question. What is costing and what are the different methods of costing? This is an important theory question asked in exam. What is costing? The method, the process, the technique you calculate the cost of the product. Okay? And then they have asked what are the different methods of costing? We have listed 7. In fact, you can write even more than this after you complete your whole syllabus, because then only you will get the knowledge of all the chapters. So basically, friends, what you have to write in this answer is the index of the subject, right? But still, many students fail to answer. The reason is, it is not that they don't study, it is that they don't study properly. Okay? So friends, let's get back. I have so far taught you what is cost and what is costing. Correct? Now we move further. What is cost accounting? Friends, whatever cost we calculate needs to be recorded properly in the books of accounts. So what we do is record the cost in books of accounts. And this is nothing but cost accounting. Hey friends, this is cost accounting. Cost accountancy, management accountancy, cost management, this will taught later on once you complete the syllabus. Reason is you will not have full knowledge now. As of now, I am teaching only basic things that are necessary start the subject. Okay. Now we come to cost object. Friends, in my first example, I told you the cost of the book is 100 and the cost of the transport service that you received is 100. So friends, no doubt 100 is the cost. But 100 is cost of what? 100 is cost of some goods, 100 is cost of some service, and this goods, this service is called cost object. So basically, what is cost object? It is goods, service, or anything whose cost you are calculating. Okay. So this is cost object. What is cost unit? Milkman comes every day at my home to deliver milk. Today morning also he came. And I asked him, what is the price of the milk? He said, Madam, 50 rupees. I said, okay. Give me 2 liters of milk. Now he gave me 2 liters of milk in the container that I gave him. And then I paid him rupees 50. Now, what he is saying, Madam, are you sleeping still? I said, no, what happened? He's saying, Madam, 50 rupees you gave me, but I gave you 2 liters, so you have to give me 100 rupees. I said, why 100? Am I wrong here? No, I am never wrong. It is milkman who is wrong. And what wrong thing did milkman do? Milkman did not tell me the cost information properly. What did he say? He said rupees 50. So I paid him 50. Why did I buy 2 liters? I could have bought 20 liters and sold in my building and done the business in the morning. He mentioned the cost just 50. What he should have said is 50 rupees per liter. And only when he says per liter, I would calculate in my mind. So for 2 liters, it would be 15 to 200. So friends, this is cost unit. Cost, only cost when you say, it carries no meaning. People like me would always misinterpret. So only when you express your cost with its unit, it carries accurate meaning, and this is how the cost should be. So what is cost unit? It is the way of expressing the cost. It is a way of expressing the cost. Milk expressed in liters, transport per kilometer, in hospital it is per patient. If you go to salon, it is per service, per treatment, per session. Right, friends? So this is cost unit. Cost driver will be taught later on. Now we go to responsibility. Firstly, the center over here does not mean any midpoint or the middle. Here what it means is location. Like if I tell you book center, so what is book center? It is a location where you get the book. So similarly, responsibility center is a center, it is a location where you can assign a few responsibilities. If I am a company, I will be having production department, purchase department, sales department, advertising department, and department. I am classifying it based on functions. Basically, I am assigning responsibility to each department. So each department over here becomes responsibility center. Okay? And responsibility center can be classified like this: cost center, revenue center, profit center, and investment center. What is this cost center? A production department can be called a cost center because in production department, the responsibility is to produce, and when you produce, you incur only the cost. So in cost center, the responsibility is to incur the cost into the production. Revenue center, the responsibility is to generate the revenue. Profit center, responsibility is to incur the cost, to generate revenue and make profit. Investment center is a location where responsibility is assigned to make investment, but to make investment in such a way that maximum returns can be generated. Okay, friends? So these are the responsibilities assigned to cost center, profit center, revenue center, investment center. Cost center can be further categorized into two: standard cost center and discretionary cost center. You can have a look at this. Cost center where output is measurable, input required for output can be specified, is called standard cost center. Okay, suppose I know that one dress requires 2 meters of cloth only. So this is something that I know. I know the input to make the desired output. And if I know the cost beforehand, it is a standard that I can set. This is called standard cost center. But where output is not measurable, input output ratio cannot be determined, it is called discretionary cost center. Got it, friends? Suppose if I am taking some tuition, and if a student is not good enough in studies, so I start teaching him, but I don't know how much time will be required to complete his portion, right? So this is like, I don't know what is the input, I don't know what is the efforts, I just start teaching him. In that case, whatever cost is incurred is discretionary cost center. Don't know the input. Others have mentioned it. And friends, these are the important terms you should know before you start with the subject. So let me just repeat what I have taught. I have taught what is cost, costing, cost accounting, cost unit, cost object, and responsibility center. And all these are important terms. And this can appear in exam, and they have appeared in exam past. Have a look at these questions, friends. These all are exam questions. Okay? You can write the definitions that are given by ICI that I have written it here, or you can express in your own words that I am saying. Okay? Need not study word to word. That is not required. Okay? You can write the answer in your own words. Let's proceed further. Objectives of costing. Friends, I told you the real objective of costing when I started the lecture. Why this subject? Because we chartered accountants need to consult the businesses. We chartered accountants need to help the business to calculate their accurate cost, and because cost is so important for survival in the business. So we are studying costing. We are studying costing primarily to ascertain the cost. Ascertain means to calculate the cost. Got it, friends? So the first and the primary objective of this subject is to ascertain the cost. Suppose you have ascertained your cost as 10. So may I ask you how much profit you will be charging? If your product is made in 10 rupees, you will be charging profit of 2 rupees, 3 rupees, 5 rupees. So if your cost is such a small number, your profit will also be a small number like 2 rupees. And you will sell at 12. Suppose if your product is 10,000. If your product costs 10,000, will your profit margin be 2? No. It will be 1,000 or something. And you will sell your product for 12,000. So my point over here is, if you know your cost accurately, only if you have calculated your cost precisely, friends, then only you are able to calculate your profit properly. Right? The second objective of studying this subject is to find out profit. And once you know your cost and profit properly, you can determine the selling price. You can determine the selling price. So friends, now you know the 3 objectives of costing, and they go hand in hand. They go hand in hand. The first is to ascertain the cost, then to find a profit, and third is to determine selling price. Cost plus profit is selling price. This is what you already know, and these are the first three objectives. Then the next objective of costing is cost control and cost reduction. Now suppose if you're going for a picnic, okay, and for picnic obviously you need money. Your mother is giving you 500 rupees saying that you should spend this much only or less than this. So when you go for a picnic and whatever you are spending, you make sure that you don't spend beyond this. Right? Suppose if you want to do something in a picnic, maybe shopping or something, till you will ensure that it is within 500. And this is called cost control. This is called cost control when you want to ensure that your cost is within the limits that are set. Your cost is within the standard set, within the target that is being set. What is cost reduction? Cost reduction is when the targets are reduced. When targets are reduced, for your next picnic, your mummy gives you only 300 rupees. So you did not reduce the cost, friends. Your target itself reduced. And no, now you have to make sure that you spend within this 300. And this is called cost control. Cost control to ensure within the limit, and reduction means your targets are being. So these are the first four objectives. And friends, you can do cost control, you can do cost reduction only if you know your cost properly. Okay. So friends, these are the first four objectives, and last objective, and it is the most important objective of costing, is to assist the management in decision. Now, what is this decision making? Let me tell you, you have been doing it daily in your life. Practically, you have been doing it. How? Suppose if you go to shop A to buy a dress and it costs rupees 1000 there, I am sure nobody will buy it at first instance. They will go to more shops to explore whether the same product is available at a cheaper price or no. Then you go to shop B and you find the same dress, same quality, same company, everything same for 800. Tell me, friends, from where you will buy it? You will buy it obviously from shop B where the cost is less. Correct? And this is the decision you have made based on cost. Suppose there is an everyday travel involved in your life. Let's say you want to go to college, or you want to go to classes, or you want to go to office, and every day you have to travel for 10 kilometers. Via bus, it takes 50 rupees, and via Uber, it will take 500 rupees, suppose. How will you travel? It is an everyday thing that you have to do, not one time. It's everyday thing. So based on cost, again, you take a decision here that will travel by bus, because it saves your. So friends, here in our daily life, we are taking a decision. We are taking based on. And this is where costing helps you to take decisions. Friends, when we become chartered accountants, we have to help the business people in taking proper decisions. We can help them to choose the supplier properly. Purchase material from this supplier, not from this, because this is how the cost is. We can help them take important business decisions, like whether to produce the product, whether not to produce, whether to replace it. Quick business decisions are taken using this subject. And friends, hence, this is the last objective. Assist management decision making is very important. So friends, remember there are only 5 objectives. See my hand and see the hand drawn in the book. Only 5 objectives. There is no 6th objective. Do not create of your own. Okay, remember these 5 objectives: to ascertain the cost, to find out the profit, to determine the selling price, cost control, cost reduction, and lastly, assess management. That's it. Only 5 objectives. And this is one of the very important questions that comes in exam, and it has come more than 10 times. And I want it to come in your exam as well. Okay? And if it comes, just remember me and 5 and the hands. 5 objectives. Okay? Cost control, cost reduction that I explained is here also. You can. Other things: scope of costing, essentials of costing, uses of costing, limitations and all. You will understand it only after you study the whole syllabus. Now let me help you in understanding the classifications of cost, the different types of. Okay, and this I will be doing it in my sheet. Important terms we have already done. So now the heading: classification of cost. Now these classifications of cost, it's very important because it's going to help you understand the calculations in all the coming up chapters. So you dare not miss this. Okay? Yeah. The very first classification is based on traceability. Now what is this traceability? Traceability means you can locate it. Now look at the pen in your hand. By observing pen, you can make out that there is some plastic cost, there is some ink cost, there is a nib cost, right? Then there is cover of the pen. So these are the materials, and obviously some person must have made it. There's some labor cost, and there must be some sticker called a direct expense. So friends, these are the costs that you can observe and make out. And such a cost can be traced, and that cost which can be traced are called direct cost. Correct? Such costs that can be traced by observing the product, they are called direct cost. And friends, what you could trace is the direct material, direct labor, and direct expense. Correct, friends? So only 3 costs are traceable, and these 3 costs are direct costs. Take another example of the clothes that you're wearing. It is made of some type of cloth, maybe cotton, maybe silk, and some tailor must have stitched it, some designer must have stitched it, right? And there is some, buttons and other things stuck, that is direct expense. So friends, this is the cost which you can trace it by looking at the product, and this is direct cost. But just observe the pen or your clothes once again. Look at these products, observe these products. Can you trace the rent of the office or of the factory in which they have been made? Can you observe it and tell that 1 lakh must be the rent? Can you observe the product and trace electricity cost? Can you observe the product and trace the telephone cost? Can you observe the product and trace the salary cost? No. So there are many other costs which are not traced by observing the product. And the costs which are not traced by observing the product, these costs are not traceable. They are called indirect costs. They are called indirect costs. And indirect costs have got other name in costing: overheads. Overhead. Okay? And this is a classification based on traceability. Now we can further classify the overheads based on functions. What is this? Based on functions, your indirect cost, your overheads are classified like this. First is factory overhead. Factory overheads is also called production overheads. It is also called works overhead. Now just visualize that you are sitting in a factory premises. And in this factory, you incur material costs, you incur labor, you incur direct expense. In the factory, you incur material, you incur labor, you incur direct expense. But these three are not your factory overheads, friend. They are incurred in the factory, they are direct costs. But other than this three cost, leave this three cost. Other than this three, you incur factory rent, factory repairs, factory maintenance, factory building insurance, depreciation on all the assets installed in the factory. There can be furniture, there can be some machineries. All these are what? These are the cost installed, these are the cost incurred in the factory. And these costs which are incurred in the factory, they are called factory overheads. So all the indirect costs incurred in the factory are factory overheads. Then, in factory, all the costs are taken care of, right? In factory, you incur direct costs, it is direct material, direct labor, direct expense. And other than this three, what you incur is factory overhead. Now, factory scene is over. Now, just imagine yourself sitting in office. In office, whatever cost you incur is called office and administration overhead. Office rent, office repairs, office maintenance, depreciation on furniture installed in office, office electricity. What are these? These are expenses incurred in office. Hence, they are called office and administration overhead. Then, selling and distribution overhead. In order to sell a product, you need to incur cost. What are these? These are selling overheads. Salesman's commission, salesman's salary, advertisement, business promotion expenses, free samples distributed. What are these? These are selling overheads. What is distribution overheads? Now, once a product is sold, they need to be delivered. The delivery charges are your distribution overheads. You do proper packing. You incur traveling cost to distribute the product. Suppose you have a delivery van, so depreciation on such delivery van. Right, friend? So these are selling and distribution overheads. Then just excuse me for a second. Okay. So now you know what is factory, office and admin, and selling and distribution. Now there are some new overheads that are being added to the list, and that is research and development cost. And the best example that I could give is of iPhone. Nowadays you have iPhone 12 and there is this Pro and Max series coming up. Before iPhone 12 you had 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. So why does this company bring out new phones? What is the difference? Is iPhone 7 different from iPhone 10? Of course, yes. iPhone 10 is a better version. It must be having some additional features. Now, when additional features are being added to the product, they must be doing some research. And only after that research is successful, they must be doing development in the product and then selling it. So to do research, there is some cost involved. To do the development involved in the product, there needs to be some cost incurred. And this research and development cost is now the indirect cost. Okay. The last over it is quality cost. Now the trend in the market has changed. People prefer quality over quantity. I remember an incident going for a shopping along with my grandma. What I bought when I was with her is a jeans of Levi's costing 3,000 rupees. And what was her reaction to this? She said, "Oh my god, 3,000 and only one jeans?" And she said that when she was young, she used to get at least 30 pairs of jeans in this 3,000. Only 100 rupees jeans. Because when she was young at that time, the customers preferred quantity. But now what we want is quality. And in order to add quality to the product, the manufacturers have to incur the cost. And the cost incurred to provide quality to the consumer is quality cost. Now, what is this quality cost? Is it that purchasing most expensive material, the quality cost? Is it that employing the most skilled labor, the quality cost? No. Is it that using the best technology machine, the quality cost? No. Then what is quality cost? Friends, quality cost is this. Quality is something that will satisfy the consumer. Quality is something that when the customer says, "Oh, this is what I wanted." And when he will say this? Only when he gets what he wants. And how will I know? How will a manufacturer know? So before starting with the production, what manufacturer has to do is do market survey, right? Conduct customer seminars, right? Check out what they exactly need. So friends, in order to do this survey, in order to do this market research, you need to incur cost. And once I know that this is what customers need, I will train my existing workers that this is what the customer needs and we have to do like this. I will upgrade the machine, I will upgrade my process in order to provide what my customers need. Correct, friends? So such training cost becomes my quality cost. And after training my workers, they will start with the production. And once production is done, I will not directly sell it to the customer. What I will do is checking. What I will do is inspection. That whether the goods made by them are up to the standard quality. If yes, I will sell it. If no, I will repair it. I will rework it. Got it, friend? So this repair cost, this rework cost, this inspection cost, they are quality cost. Suppose if I found the product of a standard quality and I sold it. And after sale, a customer comes up with the complaint that, "No, madam, this is not proper." So what I need to do? I need to respect his opinion. I need to address him properly so that, so what if I am not delivered him good product? Still he'll come to me. I need to retain such customers as well. So what I'll do is, I will say, "Okay, no problem. We will replace it. We will repair it. We give you this guarantee. We give you this warranty." So the customer has trust on us. And with this trust also, he will bring more other 10. So this after sale service also costs. And all these are quality costs. These are indirect costs, which you cannot trace it by looking at the product. So these costs are indirect cost based on function. And now we go to the last classification that we need to know as of now. And this classification is based on function. Sorry. I completed function. This classification is based on behavior. It is based on behavior. Now, I'm sure you must be knowing this. Based on behavior, we can classify the cost as variable cost, fixed cost, and semi-variable. Friends, I would like to take up my textbook for this. See, there are so many classifications that I have given. Right, friends? The text boxes, friends, you can write your examples in it. So, friends, what is this fixed cost? Now, let's take example of the coaching classes that I have. Devangi Shah classes. And for this Devangi Shah classes, I have taken a premises on rent. The rent is 1 lakh per month. Rent is 1 lakh rupees per month. Now this 1 lakh rupees will remain fixed irrespective of the number of students take admission. Right, friends? So hence rent is a fixed cost. Now what is variable? In Devangi Shah classes, every student gets a book. Like even you will get it, or you must have got it. Now that book costs rupees 500. Now 500 rupees per book is a cost that I need to incur when every student takes admission. If more number of students take admission, the cost of books need to be printed is more. If less number of students take admission, the cost of the book will be less. So friends, this printing cost, this book cost, this stationery cost becomes my variable cost. Okay. What is semi-variable, friends? Let me remind you about the internet plans that we used to have earlier. Now, in case of Jio, now we have all the unlimited plans coming up. But earlier, internet plans were like this. ₹199, we used to get 1 GB data, 3G network, 28 days validity. Now with this, friends, if I make use of 700 MB or 1000 MB or anything up to 1 GB, my cost would be 199. So this somehow gives me a hint that this 199 is a fixed cost because it is fixed irrespective of the usage that I make, irrespective of the data that I consume. Yes, 199 is undoubtedly fixed cost. However, if in a month my data usage exceeds this 1 GB, if it exceeds 1 GB, I need to I need to recharge more, or I will be charged additional, let's say 10 paisa per kbps for every data that I consume above 1 GB. So extra consumption will be charged based upon your usage, and that extra consumption will be variable. So what is this internet plan cost? It is partly fixed, and above that it is partly variable. And the costs which are partly fixed, partly variable, friends, they are semi-variable costs. They are semi-variable cost. Right, friends? I hope you have understood the three behavior: fixed cost, variable cost, semi-variable cost. Now, before going further into behavior of cost, let me highlight the features that you need to know. Fixed cost, always remember, total remains fixed. The amount will never change. In variable, the total will keep on changing, but cost per unit remains constant. Okay? And what about semi-variable? Friends, semi-variable is partly fixed, partly variable. So now my question is, how do I know about the behavior of cost? How can I say, looking at just the numbers, how can I say that this cost is fixed, variable or semi-variable? So let's do this. In week 1, I produce 5,000 units. And for this 5,000 units, I incurred cost of 1,20,000. In week 2, I produced 7,000 units and I incurred cost of 1,60,000. Right, friends? This is production in week 1 and cost in week 1, and the same is for week 2. Now, what is the behavior of this cost? See, I do not know the name. Just by the amount, I need to check. So, how do I know the behavior of the cost? First, I will see the total amount. Are they equal? No. They are different at different level of output. So, friends, is it fixed? No. Remember, check the total amount of cost. If the total amount is same at different level, then the cost is fixed. And here, in our example, since the total amount is not the same, since the total amount is not the same, it is not fixed. It is not fixed. Now, if it is not fixed, I need to check whether it's variable or no. And for variable, I've told you the feature that cost per unit remains constant. Let me check out cost per unit. For week 1, it's 1,20,000 divided by 5,000. And for week 2, 1,60,000 divided by 7,000. 21 point something. So am I getting a constant figure over here? No. Variable cost per unit, here it is not constant. So what do I say? Therefore, it is not a variable cost. And friends, because it is not fixed, friends, because it is not variable, that is why, friends, it is semi-variable. See, there is no direct way to tell this is semi-variable. I need to prove it that this is not fixed, this is not variable, and hence it is semi-variable. And this is the only way to do it, friends. So, since the cost is neither fixed nor variable, it is semi-variable. And this is the way we identify the behavior. Friends, this is something that you have to do mentally in your brains. You need to know by looking at the amounts that this is the behavior of the cost. Once again, I repeat, how will you check? If the total amount is same, it is fixed. If cost per unit is same, it is variable. And if it is not fixed, not variable, then it is semi-variable. Okay. Now, once I know that this cost is okay, semi-variable, and I know what is semi-variable. Semi-variable is partly fixed, partly variable. So now I need to know how much part of this cost is fixed and how much part of this cost is variable. I need to bifurcate the cost into variable and fixed. How do I do that? So for that, there are 3 steps. Observe this data once again. I have increased my production by 2,000. And because I increased my production by 2,000, friends, my cost has increased by 40,000. And my cost increased by 40,000 because of this extra production. And remember, it is only variable cost that increases with increase in production and not the fixed cost. So can I say that this increased cost, this 40,000 is nothing but variable cost. And this 40,000 variable cost is for the 2,000 units that I have made. Right, friends? So, friends, this is variable cost. How do I get it? 1,60,000 minus 1,20,000 divided by 7,000 minus 5,000. Friends, extra 40,000 cost is incurred for the 2,000 units that I have made extra. So, what is per unit? Friends, per unit is 20 per unit. And once I know my variable cost per unit, let me find out total variable cost for any 1 week. I'm taking a week 1. So 5,000 into 20, you get 1 lakh rupees. So friends, for week 1, in totality, variable cost is 1 lakh. Now, how do I find out fixed cost? Take the same week that you had taken earlier. In week 1, the total cost given is 1,20,000. The total cost given is 1,20,000, and out of that, we computed that variable is 1 lakh. So 1,20,000 total. Out of that, 1 lakh is variable. So friends, what will be balance? Balance 20,000 will be your fixed cost only. Got it, friends? So this is how you bifurcate your semi-variable costs into variable and fixed. Remember the 3 steps. First, what we'll find is variable cost per unit by taking difference cost upon difference. That is variable cost per unit. Now take any period and find out the total variable cost, and the balance of that period will give you the fixed cost. Remember, throughout the syllabus costing, whenever there is variable cost, you will express it per unit only. And whenever it is fixed cost, you will write the total amount only. They cannot be total variable cost. They cannot be fixed cost per unit. Okay? Now my question is, with the same example, I'm continuing. If there are 8,000 units produced in week 3, then what would be the total cost? Friends, in the example that we have, every unit that I make will have a variable cost of 20 and fixed cost of 20,000. So now when I make 8,000 units, there will be variable cost incurred and there will be fixed cost incurred. Variable cost will be how much, friends? It will be 8,000 units into 20. And fixed cost will be how much, friends? More 20,000. So total 1,60,000 plus 20,000, you get 1,80,000. So this would be the total cost that you incur for making 8,000 units. Further, friends, if there are only 4,000 units to be produced in week 3, then what would be the total cost? Same thing again. We will incur variable cost and fixed cost. For 4,000 units, we'll incur 4,000 into 20 variable, and fixed will be the same 20,000 amount. So 80,000 and 20,000, we would incur total cost of 1 lakh. So friends, this is all about behavior. I hope you understand it now. The behavior-based classification is 3: fixed, variable, semi-variable. Fixed total is same, variable cost per unit is same, variable, semi-variable is partly fixed, partly variable. I told you how to identify the behavior, and if it is found to be semi-variable, I told you how to bifurcate it. Okay, and friends, this is all what you should know about classification of cost to start with the subject. That's it. Okay, there are many other things, but we need not do it now in the chapter. And friends, let me tell you now, we are, yes, in position to start any topic. We have acquired basic knowledge about the subject, and we can start with the topic. The things remaining in this will be taught to you at the end of syllabus. Okay, friends, it will be taught to you at the end of syllabus, because it is something really advanced which you cannot understand it now. Okay, so I hope you have understood this chapter very well, and see you in the next chapter. Goodbye.